morning, everyone. Let's start today. As our teacher said, today is a good day, especially because we will have opportunity to explore nature, explore ourselves, and explore the land. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Welcome and happy to see you again on Sunday. And so today we are going to continue with the last group of the Kamawachara cittas, the last group of the sense sphere cittas. Those are the cittas that frequent with the sense objects. Yes, like those citta that arises when we are in contact with the sense objects. Okay, so before we go into the content of today, would like to ask you for some sharing of this past week. Is there any experience, anything that you remembered about what we have saw, or anything that you want to share?
Also this week when I was on the bus and I was really stressed about getting late to my work and stuff, and I was in the bus and it was crowded, so I was like, why? And suddenly I was like, maybe this is because of my previous action that I'm right now here on a bus, the situation's that way because of something, and maybe if now I see it in a different way, it's gonna help to purify it, or to do something better with that previous thing, something like that. So I just started feeling, it's alright. I mean, I'm not spending money on gas. I'm just here waiting, and I started feeling better. I was like, this is not that bad experience, and the rest of my day went pretty well.
Like Seattle comment, right attitude makes the difference, no? If we have negativity towards the experience, even the experience is beautiful, if nothing is happening, the mind is so a right attitude. And in the blue book is mentioned a lot, how to keep right attitude. And one of the things, the most important thing of it, right view, is to remember that everything is a natural process. It doesn't belong to us. So we start kind of getting interested into the experience more than just being a victim of it. Be it good or be it bad, positive or negative, good or bad. I mean, pleasant or unpleasant, we are not victim of it. We are not in it, but we can develop some kind of curiosity, and then even from that situation, mostly from that difficult situation, wisdom, we can use it as a source for wisdom.
Yeah, that's what I felt like. It was specifically difficult for me at that moment. It was like, now it's a good opportunity to try to see it different.
Yeah, when you say maybe it's because of my actions that I am here, of course you came on top of the bus. You ride the bus. There is no doubt that because of your actions. But of course, deeply, the fact that we are humans is already as deep as that. The fact that we're born is because of our previous actions. So definitely, whatever happens is because of our previous actions.
Yeah, but how we the result of previous action we cannot change. Let's say we are already on the bus, well, we can jump off or do something else, but and we cannot change that. Change to disappear everybody on the bus or disappear the traffic cars. That's not possible. But but how we react to that situation is the present moment. We have a choice. Something else? Yes.
Yeah. I have the chance to observe more quickly when negativity is arising.
Arising before, well, that's good. That's good.
And before it kind of affects me in my relation with other people, I started observing myself okay, this is happening inside of it. This is not something who anyone else have the responsibility to deal with. It's just happening inside of me, and so I need to clean and observe that perception of things. Several aspects during the week, the one that kind of realized the most was in a job with a client that kind of sends me messages about like changes or something. What can I do really to try to help him? If I connect with his anxiety or his obsession, it's not gonna end well. So I just try to do my best and to deal with the situation and to detach from it.
Yeah, being a step back now, like
Yeah.
you just say, stepping back, we see the situations better and we can be more efficient to solve the problem. So that's good.
Yeah. And one thing that is good to remember is that really, whatever happens is not really so important. When you see this is not a life and death situation, so why do we get now? If a part of the equation is anxiety, even aggressive or stressed or whatever, and if the other side gets it, now both of them is gonna be like that, and whatever answer is coming from that force. It's already a lot of negativity pushing forward. So even a nice comment that we want to make comes out because it was nice, but it came with too much force. So it is like water. When you have a hose and you leave it open, then the water comes like this. But the more pressure you put on it, the further it goes, the more harm it does. It makes pressure onto the thing. So it's not what we say, but the force that it is coming in the back, and really it won't solve anything. And one thing very important is that not just for us, let's start seeing how the Buddha says that our practice, if we are able to practice ourselves, we are benefiting the others. In which way? Let's say this part is already anxious and intense. Then because of this awareness, in this case your responsibility, you decide not to, because it's a decision. You saw like the point, okay, either I get into this, which I know, we all know it, or either I experiment or try another part and I won't get into the emotional part. Okay, how can I help you without the pain? So the more beauty where we are moving forward is that, for example, this one is here, this one decides not to get into that rush, and then the other side start recognizing that first all the energy he's putting in, even if it is a clash, all this energy has nobody's receiving it, so it's just falling away. The other person is just seeing the negativity falling away. So eventually a person by himself or herself cannot hold that negativity, because it's your sole responsibility. Especially if there is people around, they start saying, oh, this guy is angry and the other one is peaceful. So our own practice starts benefiting the other in one sense. First, because the other part won't be able to continue with that negativity, and most beautifully and hopefully last. How do I say? Last longing. I don't know how to do it. It will last longer when that person recognize maybe that person is used to that. The only way to react to mistake or to something you need to do is with negativity. The most beautiful will be if the person sees another way of, wow, we fixed the thing. We actually fixed the thing without friction, without negativity and thing. Then our own practice has the potential we cannot expect it, of inspiring the other person, at least seeing another way. Okay, we fix it, no problem. And then that is when it becomes really beneficial for ourselves and for others. But very nice, no? When we can choose suffering or not, isn't it? In the three cases that you're saying, is okay. I am here. We are arriving to a single. We can summarize in a single thing that is happening. I am here is negative. Either inside, either the bus, or either the person and the situation. I have a choice. And I think that what we are saying is like, I have a choice. Either I suffer together with the situation, I keep rolling on it, or I step back and I say, what can I learn? Everything is the key that Seattle Tajania gives is two questions. Two things to remember. Everything is a natural process. Everything is nature. All is nature is how he says. All is nature. What can I learn? Just these two phrases that we bring. All is nature. What can I learn? Let me see. And immediately the mind changes from that mindset. Isn't that way? And we experience that, and it brings a lot of joy to see that we are doing it together. Things are moving. It's like, oh, the Dhamma is doing its job. So it brings a lot of joy. Thank you.
Thank you.
And more things will come in that direction. even with things very painful. Now we tried with, I mean, none of these three situations were life-threatening. We can be in a situation that is really painful, of a big loss or something, and we won't believe, but it's a matter of using the same simple technique. It's a choice. Either I suffer or not, or I stay in myself, collect myself, and try to do the most sensible, peaceful, and stable decision, even in a very difficult situation. So there is no difference. We are practicing now with doing something small, maybe because it's not very consequential, it's a daily activity. But it can be applied the same technique for a big pain. So we cannot underestimate the power of wisdom, because that is a degree of, first of all, there is sati, no? Awareness. There is awareness, there is a detachment from the situation, and then wisdom decides. We gave space for wisdom to say, no, I don't need to suffer because of this. It is, we cannot underestimate the power of this tool.
And the less importance that we give to ourselves, the idea of ourselves, I think it helps a lot to not like see the need in like fighting
to defend
or to prove a point, or to like it's okay, this is like it is, and it helps to understand instead of like I need to fight for
and immediately brings harmony, immediately brings brotherhood, and the thing of what I want to do is it changed to what can we do to solve this in a nice way. So even people get surprised around, like, there is another way, because often I may seem like criticizing our society, but it's true. The only way to solve things often is through conflict. We only think, no conflict to solve something, but we can do it clean of negativity. Just solve it without you suffering, none of us suffer. How can we do to solve it? With a smile from the inside. So can we? Mis hermanitos, muchas gracias. Que gusto nos llenan de.
Okay, so let's start with the content of today. Everybody ready?
Yes.
Okay,
Let's go.
So last time we stopped with the first group of the beautiful cittas. We mentioned last time that sense, fear, beautiful cittas, they are divided into three groups. Kusala citta, that is the cittas that arises when we do good actions, when we are thinking good, wholesome thoughts, speaking with loving kindness, or with gentleness, so good speech, and also when we are doing good actions. So these are the cittas that arises when we are doing good actions, mental, verbal, and physical.
Yeah.
Then we also have another group of the resultant of the good, wholesome cittas, which are with roots, and these ones are without roots. Yes. So actually, these two are the results of this one. Yes. This kind of citta, gives two results. Gives results without roots. Some flowers does not give fruits sometimes, so they flourish and then that's it. And then some gives fruits, and then the fruits have they are more powerful and they have potential for developing. Yes, so they are these ones are with roots. And then in this group, the beautiful cittas with roots, with the beautiful roots, also we have functional cittas. That today I think we can finish the three groups of them.
Yes.
And these ones are without roots. Yes, they are also functional and also results, but they are without roots. Yes. Okay. So let's go and take a little look of the 6 roots that we are very familiar with already. And lobha, greed, alobha, generosity, the opposite. Dosa, aversion, and adosa, loving kindness. Moha, delusion of ignorance, and amoha, wisdom. So let's say, for example, in our daily life, when we do an action with greed, attachment, or desire, what kind of citta arises in our mind? Greed-rooted consciousness, no? Lobha mula citta will arise. Yes. So in this case, lobha mula is associated with how many roots? Do you remember?
2. Yeah, 2.
2. Yes. With, of course, lobha mula, of course, with lobha, and also it is with moha. Yes. So in this case, when we act with greed, attachment, and in whatever actions, mental, verbal, or physical, then lobha, mula, citta, greed-rooted consciousness arise in the mind, which are associated with two roots. So it's lobha and it's moha, and obviously there is no good roots now because it is akusala, it is bad, and also in this case dosa is not there because it is lobha group. Yes. So in the same way, when we are angry or when we are we're boring or have fear or sadness or all kinds of dosa family, then in the same way dosa and moha is working, is together in this case. Okay, so today we and also moha alone, remember when it is only restlessness or doubt, then it is only one root, when moha, mula, citta, moha, and which is akusala, unwholesome cittas without not associated with greed or dosa at that moment. Yes, only moha. Okay, so today we are going to look at wholesome cittas, which are all the time associate with generosity and loving kindness. All the time, these two is always there, and wisdom can be or cannot be. So in wholesome cittas, there are always good roots, at least two, and sometimes three. So we're going to look at this today. So kusala cittas, four aspects of wholesome cittas we already saw last time, and we just mentioned right now generosity and loving kindness because they are universal cetasika of kusala. So whenever there is kusala, there will be generosity and there will be loving kindness. So they are always there. Then we also last week we also mentioned about the mental feeling, yes. And then we also have another aspect, which is whether it is associated with wisdom or without wisdom, and also without. Anyway, you saw it prompted or unprompted. Yes. Okay. So here we just said already universal. These two are universal. Kusala citta. Kusala cetasika. So they are always there. And about mental feeling. Last time we saw that. What is this one? Remember? Somanasa, pleasant mental feeling. And this one? Domanasa, unpleasant mental feeling. And upekkha, and neutral mental feeling. Yes? So in this case, we are talking about wholesome cittas. Yes? When we are doing good. So in this case, is it possible to have pleasant mental feeling when we do good? Yeah. Surely. Yes? Surely. Yes, how about domanasa? It's not possible, yes? We cannot do good and feel bad.
Well, later, but we cannot do, at the moment we cannot do good angrily. Okay, I'm very generous, Thomas.
So, domanasa, we already saw it only associates with dosa, yes? Only in akusala, so this is not possible, yes? And upekkha, is it possible?
Yeah.
Yes, yes, we can also do good with a neutral feeling, so that is also possible. Welcome. So, about concerning mental feeling that is associated with kusala citta, associated with wholesome citta, is only somanasa, pleasant mental feeling, or upekkha, neutral mental feeling. Okay, so now let's take a look at another factor, which is with wisdom or without wisdom. So in this case, with wisdom or without wisdom, what kind of wisdom? Last time we mentioned it a little bit, yes? That is the understanding of cause and effect, understanding about karma, understanding that if we do good, plant good seeds, then good result will arise. If we do bad, then bad result will arise. Or also, there are deeper understandings, say the Four Noble Truths, that suffering exists. There is a cause for suffering to arise, and there is the cessation of suffering, the meaning that it is possible to not suffer. Yes, and there is a way to not suffer, no? And also that understanding the nature of how nature works. Say, for example, we are made up of mind and matter. Yes, so it is a process running on. Not only I, not only I. It's actually what we say I is actually a combination of mind and matter happening moment to moment. All this kind of understanding, and also mostly it is about the Four Noble Truth and the Noble Eightfold Path, like the way how to practice, how to be free from defilements. So this kind of wisdom we are talking about here. But basically, the most basic is the understanding of karma. Yes, otherwise, most of the people cannot have kusala citta with wholesome mind with wisdom. It is so deep wisdom. Also for basic, it is the understanding of there is cause and effect. It's not just like something happened random
Natural process.
and happen, and it is a natural process. So for this, we would like to invite you all to come on the Wednesday class, because just right now, Bante, Carol was here last week, Bante started to talk about the first, let me say, yes, the first sermon, the first discourse that the Buddha gave after his enlightenment, the Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta, which is the sutta of turning the wheel of the Dhamma. So in this sutta, the Buddha explained about the Four Noble Truths and the Noble Eightfold Path, which is very, very important in the Buddha's teachings. So here, just as a small introduction, would like to invite Bante to explain a little bit about what we mean by wisdom, a little bit here, briefly. But this in detail, please come on Wednesday, because it is going to be very good, these coming classes. Yes, Bante,
It's very important. Yeah. So when thinking how to know, for example, we are seeing that when can we have a mental state with wisdom. Sometimes for a long time we say, okay, so the teachers are inviting us to live with wisdom. But what actually is wisdom? I think that's very important. And as Charana said, on Wednesday we are giving a very thorough explanation from all the many details that the teacher has given us about what wisdom is. So as Charana mentioned, in this sutta, the Buddha explained set up in motion the Dhamma wheel, which the Dhamma wheel, actually, when we look at it, as you know, is the symbol of Buddhism. Actually, the Dhamma wheel is a practice. Each of these spikes are one thing to be done, either in morality, in stability of mind, or wisdom, which is the part that we're going to focus right now. So, just going quickly, among the practices, right view, to have what we were talking at the beginning of the class. What kind of glasses am I using when I face life? How do I see life? If the glasses are tainted or dirty with negativity, be it anger, be it desire or attachment, whatever I see through them, it's gonna be tainted with negativity. It's unavoidable. So the first thing we need to do is clean up our glasses with wisdom, and now we will focus on it. Then we have right thought, the right kind of thinking. We know that the mind thinks, but there are many kinds of thinking. There is positive thinking and negative thinking. Negative thinking generally makes us suffer and makes the others suffer. So what kind of is right thought? We're gonna see briefly right now, but really in Wednesday, if you can now, this is the essence of the Buddha's teaching. The Noble Eightfold Path and the Four Noble Truths is really the core where everything else that we are seeing right now is based upon. Is the freedom from suffering, the way leading to freedom of suffering. Then we have right speech. This is gonna be action, to use our words skillfully. Right action, not to kill, not to steal, to respect our relations. And then right livelihood, to be sure that the way we earn our life, those do not harm anyone by killing, by selling poison or arms or something like that. Then we have the cultivation of the mind side. This is wisdom, this is sila, morality, and this is the inner cultivation practice, is right attention with sati. But remember, right mindfulness. But if there is right, the Buddha was very careful to say right. If there is right, there is wrong. That's why he said. So we have right attention, how to have the right attention, the right effort, which we have seen in the past a little bit of it, but we will be exploring it in depth on Wednesdays. And the right concentration, as we have said before. If a lioness is very concentrated, this concentration is unwholesome. It's about to kill. It wants to harm someone. So concentration is not always good. So now let's focus on these two that are the ones who is in charge of wisdom. Well, here I will skip this quickly. These are how the wheel is divided. Now, we can see the wheel as out there, but actually, my dear family, the wheel is us. This is us. This is like if we are standing like the Da Vinci guy like this. This is us. This is our mind, our ability to be wise. This is our actions, our ability to be wholesome or unwholesome, and this is our mental development. So the symbol of Buddhism is actually me. It's me there. It's the most pure and noble, wholesome me, the one that is already inside while waiting to be awakened and to be polished. But this is us. The Dhamma wheel is us there, our mind, our actions, and our inner development, and the way to bring it to the top. Panya, Sila, and Samadhi, wisdom, morality, and stability of mind. And now let's focus just a little bit briefly on this. The two that are referred to wisdom, and this is the ones we concern today, when we are saying how to be noble, to be doing good with wisdom or without wisdom, we will know when we are using it or not. Now, we cannot do bad with wisdom. Doing bad is ignorant, is selfish, is absurd, because we hurt ourselves and with others. So first of all, wisdom cannot be in any negativity. No dosa, no loba can be there. So only in positive mind states, with or without wisdom. What is right view we will see briefly, and what is right thought, just to go through. So the first right view that we encounter is, as Charana was mentioning, to keep in the mind that karma exists. We cannot complain with no one. I am here because of my actions, good or bad, and whatever action I'm doing right now is gonna make who I am in the future. So just to keep this in mind, in short, the law of cause and effect, which is prevalent around the universe, and scientists study this, and it is fully proven that it exists. So whatever action I do, there is a reaction. Whatever push I give, the energy does not stop. Whatever good I do brings good. Whatever bad I do brings bad in any way, in some way or another. Okay, so until here, to keep this in mind. The other part of it is to keep, first, to know the Four Noble Truths and understand them and keep them around in our glasses. Our glasses sees with the law of karma. Our glasses see with the Four Noble Truths. And what are they? The first noble truth, that there is suffering exists. Only that in this world, in this realm that we live in, there is sickness, there is loss, old age, and death. And also birth also hurts. Hurts for the mother, hurts for the baby. And to keep ourselves alive is also sometimes difficult. So there is no prejudice again. There is no pointing to it. No good, no bad. Just suffering exists. Dying is painful. Losing is painful. In short, to be surrounded to unpleasant things is suffering. To separate from the pleasant or the one that I am attached is suffering. We can define suffering in these two things. To associate with the unpleasant, with people, situation, or sickness is suffering. If I have to associate with unpleasant and be separated from the pleasant, from a person we love, when he or she dies, a situation we like, and it disappears, whatever. So that's the first noble truth. The second noble truth, which brings some hope, there is a cause of it. Suffering has a cause. It's not just because I suffer because someone wants me to suffer or anything. No, there is a cause, and if I change the cause, suffering cannot arise. The effect needs a cause. So here comes some of hope, and here the cause of suffering. The Buddha was very, very clear that it is desire and attachment. The more I am attached to something, when I lose it, the more we'll suffer. It's totally correlated. The more attachment, the more I suffer. If I'm attached a little bit to something and I lose it, well, I'm attached a little bit, no problem, I get another one, or whatever, it was nothing. But if I'm very attached, the more attachment and desire there is, when that thing disappears, the more suffering. My dear family, good or bad news, a little bit more bad news than good. In this world, we will lose everything. We will lose our youth, we will lose our mental power, we will lose our mental strength because of time. It's just a matter of time, no problem, it's just nature. And when we go, we will leave everything. So, if we have not made peace with this part of reality, suffering will be unavoidable. And you check, every time we suffer is because we want something different. And the word want is already there. Desire wants something else. Either better or not to be surrounded by it. So there is a cause, which is suffering. It's very deep, and again in Wednesday we would explore a little bit more. It's really, really deep and really, really hard to understand. What? Do I suffer because I desire? How? When? Well, the thing is that it's so prevalent, the mind is so used to it that it's very difficult to see. But actually, attachment is in the back. Now, the thing that brings the most hope is that there is a suffering can end. If we unplug the cause of suffering, suffering cannot come up. So if we are able to take away all the desire and take away all the attachment and negativity, no mind can suffer. No one can suffer if the cause is not there. So the Nibbana, enlightenment exists. We all of us have the potential to be deeply free and deeply happy without any suffering, even we are suffering, having physical pain. So this is the greatest hope of it we can do. And the fourth noble truth is precisely the Noble Eightfold Path, which is the way to arrive to that happiness, to that freedom. And then the first part that we are seeing is the wisdom part. In short, the Four Noble Truths, we can look at them in this way and memorize them easily. Suffering exists. No one, is there anyone who can deny this? A la una, a las dos, a las nadie podemos. Suffering exists. In the world, suffering exists. There is plenty. No need to add more to it inside in the head. There is a cause for suffering. Cessation is possible. Suffering, this is the hope. We can stop suffering. And there is a way to end up. And this is the core of the Buddha's teaching. He said, there is suffering. You want to stop suffering? This is what you need to do. Good action, good thinking, and good development. Unavoidably, you are making the causes for happiness. Happiness, even if you don't want to be happy, you will be happy. Don't worry. we will just come.
Yes, sometimes some people say that the Buddha's teaching is pessimism. There's all suffering, there's suffering, this is suffering, everything's suffering. But if the Buddha,
he stays only there,
there is suffering,
that's
then
pessimistic.
that's pessimism. Nothing to do, just suffer every day. No? But then he's saying that there is a way out of suffering.
You can stop it,
actually,
and there is a way.
It is optimistic actually, because it's showing the way out of this the suffering.
This happens with many things. When you don't
But
see
actually, sorry, it's not optimistic. It is realistic.
realistic.
Yeah.
Realism makes much more than optimism,
Yes.
actually. And it is proven by science. Later you see some experiments that some psychiatrists and psychologists did with people in the Holocaust. They clearly saw that the people who was realist survived much longer than the people who was positive. Like, everything's going to be fine and like this. Optimistic realism is, yes, the situation is difficult. What can I do? And they found a way. But if we want to just positivity, it won't last too long. It will help, but it won't last too long. It's shallow. So here we have, if we don't see the thing deeply, we may get a distorted sense of pessimism. But actually, the most important is this: how to go out. Welcome on Wednesdays. We just started with right thought, and I will go. We saw right view, which is karma, and the Four Noble Truths. That is the right view, the right glasses. As I encounter life and experience life, if I have this understanding, this wisdom in the back of the mind, things will feel and experience as normal, natural. So there is no need to battle with nature. Now, right thought is the frame that we're gonna, the emotion that is gonna be surrounding the way we experience life, and this is very liberating. And the first one is detachment. If attachment is the source of suffering, because I am attached to something, if I have the thing and I understand that it is borrowed for a few decades, our home, our relations, our job, our health, it's just borrowed for a little while. I have it. I'm not attached to it. I enjoy it. I appreciate and take care of it. It doesn't mean that we are not attached and we don't care. It has nothing to do with it. But we are detached from it. We know it's gonna go. So there is some kind of wisdom, and we renounce. So we practice generosity. Okay, we can share. It's a way of sharing. This kind of framework already is wisdom on top of it, and it starts making the mind healthy. It makes the mind healthy. There are three aspects. The other one, which is the one we're gonna practice if we have opportunity to go to the retreat, is loving kindness. So our perception and our living in the morning, we remember this, and I will try to spread well-being to others, to myself and to others. May you be well, may I be well, physically and mentally. Loving kindness, if we can be generous, altruistic, do some service to others. So this is the thing that makes a human beautiful. These three ingredients, and the other one is karuna, which is compassion. If we see suffering, we try to do something to alleviate it. And there must be equanimity as well. If we cannot, I want to help someone, but I cannot do something, then I am at peace as well. I understand our limits, because we know in the world suffering, it's sometimes overwhelming, the suffering that is experienced. So we do what we can. There is no doubt, but if we cannot do something, equanimity will save. Otherwise, now there is two people suffering. He or she is suffering because whatever situation, and I'm suffering because I cannot do something. So we must not let the mind fall down. So my dear friends, right thinking, as the Buddha described, is to keep these three ingredients in the mind as a framework: detachment, loving kindness, and compassion. Isn't it beautiful? If our glasses is tainted with love, whatever, even our enemy, we'll turn to our enemy, we'll see it with love and compassion, and detachment, and generosity. So this is the thing, not to be thinking about it, but to imbue our mind with these five things: law of karma, the Four Noble Truths, and beauty in the mind, good, natural goodness, to be in the background of the mind. In this moment is when we can say, as the teachers describe and the Buddha, that the person is being wise. There is wisdom in the mind of that person, with the right outlook, the right attitude towards whatever he or she experiences. So fortunately, we can see that it is possible. Many humans, as same as us, has found the way to serve others, to sacrifice, to detach from their own needs, and start using their energy to help humankind in many of the ways. There are many of them are still alive, so if they can, we can. How did they do it? Did they have a purpose? Did they have a methodology? So even though even if it could sound alien or difficult regarding to our experience in daily living in society or something, my dear friends, we have the choice of using this energy for the good, the general good for ourselves or others, and or for ourselves. And there are definitely examples of people who have been able to do it, even in very difficult situations. I didn't put Nelson Mandela here or Martin Luther King, but the Dalai Lama is here. Even against, even people willfully is torturing their people, is torturing and threatening and many things. Even then, how does he do to be able to still show compassion and love to others? There must be a very deep practice in the back. So the practice, the methodology is not difficult, and we can do. And again, as an advertisement for the retreat, if we can, let's go and learn how to do it and be practicing in our daily living. The most important will be how is to be developed and do it as much as we can. Compassion is also something that comes natural. This picture for us is like unbelievable. I'm sure she has not. Well, in this life, she has not listened any kind of methodology. But naturally, when you see somebody suffering, we see a baby, immediately all of us will go. So it's not something alien. We just need to desempolvarlo, how to say, and clean it up and have it polished and active. So it is naturally, compassion is inside of all of us. It's just a matter of continue practicing. There are many ways in which we can do. So that is referred to when a mind is wisdom. I will stress a little bit, my dear friends, when we make the practice, we think about it. How can I be more loving, more compassionate, and more detached? We think about it. But it must become a framework of mind, something that is already happening in the mind. So the other day, while I was thinking, I thought, okay, so there must be nekama, there must be metta and karuna. How to make a chord, like a chord out of it, no? You can hear, you know, a chord, musical chord, ping. So you have 3 notes. If I think on this, I'm playing only a nekama note, ting, 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 ting. If I think in metta, ting, 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 I'm thinking. So how to make a chord of it? So the mind invented something which is kind of working. So I said, okay, the first thing I can do is put everything on a single word. So the word that came up is neka metta runa. So it is already, you say neka until here, metta, iruna. Then I was walking outside and said neka metta runa means detachment, loving kindness, and compassion at the same time. Detachment, loving and compassion. Ping the chord. Neka metta runa. Make a single thing so the mind gets used to being that 3 qualities at once and remembering wisdom. So I'm not there yet, but definitely we can do some tricks in the mind to be able to start bringing these 3 qualities constantly in our outlook. How do I experience? And hopefully, my dear friends, we arrive to one moment when our mind is as beautiful as it has been shown throughout history. So with that's it. Welcome Wednesdays. We're gonna be looking at each of the elements of the Noble Eightfold Path one by one with more anecdotes and details.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mante. So now we saw in a little bit more details about what wisdom is about. Like when we do actions, when we have loving thoughts, good thoughts, when we have good speech, verbal actions, or physical actions. When we do these actions, if it is done without those understanding that Bhante just explained, then it is in the case without wisdom. Yes, without understanding of karma, the Four Noble Truth of how nature works, and without the thoughts of actually loving kindness and generosity is always there, but mostly without understanding of karma and how nature works. So it is without wisdom. But as we saw already last week, because these are good deeds, wholesome cittas. So although it is without wisdom, it does not mean that it has moha or delusion or wrong view. Ditti, in this case, because wrong view and delusion only associate with akusala when we're doing bad, yes? So here, although it is without wisdom, it does not associate with
it's not
delusion.
ignorant, but it's not wise.
Just that it is
kind
not
of
wise.
not so good, not so bad. It's just neutral, kind of.
Mm-hmm. So this, they are not possible, but in this case, without wisdom, but it is associated with generosity and with loving kindness. So in this kind of actions, sometimes some people, they might not have much understanding about karma, cause and effect, or they might not understand the Four Noble Truth or how nature works, but they still do good. Yes, there are so many people that they do good because they think that it is right to do good and it is good to do good. So in these cases, it could be kusala citta, wholesome citta can arise in their mind when they are doing these good actions, but maybe without wisdom. But it is still good. Why? Because this is supporting sila, supporting morality. Yes. So in the Noble Eightfold Path, it is actually training the first part. We got good action. Sorry, it is here. And the actions is good speech, good action, and good livelihood. So when we do good, we are actually strengthening sila and morality, ethics, which is really good because this is the basis for concentration, for samadhi, and for wisdom to arise. So it is also good, although it is without wisdom here. But if it is with wisdom, it is even better because then wisdom strengthened also more morality, more sila, and more concentration, and more wisdom will arise. Yes? Okay, so in this case, there are wholesome cittas without wisdom, and also there are wholesome cittas with wisdom. When a person performs these kind of actions with those understanding that Bhante just explained about karma, about Four Noble Truth. Yes? Okay, so here we complete the aspect of whether it is with wisdom or without wisdom. Then the one that is left is prompted and unprompted. And we'll go into it now. So a situation, let's say a gentleman in the street, he is needing of something. Then say a girl with a mother, they pass by the street, and then the mother said, "Hey, wait, and give this to the gentleman." Then the girl said, "Okay." Then she take the money and then she give it to the gentleman. First case. Second case, the same situation. Then they were walking, and then the girl said, "Wait, mom." Then she was checking her pocket, and then she said, "I want to give something to the gentleman." Then she went, and then she gave it to the gentleman. So one is prompted by the mother, yes. Another one is unprompted. She felt it and she wanted to do so. The goodness, yes. So which one do you think is more powerful?
Unprompted.
Unprompted, yes, because it is by herself. Spontaneously, she wanted to do the good. So unprompted is stronger than prompted. Yes. Okay. So in this case, if she does it by her own initiation, then it is unprompted. And then if the mother tells her to do so, then it is prompted. Then as we saw previously, also prompted can be also by oneself, remember? Then we can also like, should I do this? Should I? No. Okay, yes, let's do it. No? Yes, okay. So this can be also prompted by oneself or prompted by an example of another person. Like say if we saw somebody do good, that's very nice to do. Okay, I will also do so. Yes, so prompted by another also is also possible. So yes?
But it's always better when it's unprompted, even if when it's by you, right? I mean,
Yes,
if you take
yes.
the time to think of it, it's not that good when you just do it
Yes,
without thinking.
Yes, it's also good, but it is less powerful than the very simultaneous. Simultaneous?
Yeah, simultaneous.
The more,
Immediate, like doing good just because it comes naturally, boom,
yes,
without being pushed by anything.
it's more powerful. But of course, if you think about it and then you decide to do so, it is also good. Yes, because we can think about it. No, I don't better. I don't do it.
I keep for myself.
Okay. Okay, so that was a prompted and unprompted. Yes. Okay, so now we have finished the four aspects of kusala citta, or wholesome cittas, those citta that arises when we do good actions. And there are 8 kinds of them. And so let's see, according to the characteristic, let's see which 8 kinds there are.
Can I point something? My dear family, here I just want to point out that in this something very beautiful that I always surprised with is that every time our mind is in the good neighborhood, there is always a sense of generosity and a loving kindness. There is goodness already on the mind. These 2 roots, aloba and adosa, are a given every time our mind. So do good is already good. There is already a sense of generosity and loving kindness. Now, if this goodness is showing an action of giving, the part of generosity, aloba, will be more prominent. But of course, you cannot give something to someone if you're not looking for his good, no? So there is some kind of benevolence. There is some kind of metta, or loving kind love inside. So there must be, now if I'm experiencing only, I'm wishing well-being for other person, then metta will be there, but there is also some kind of generosity. In which way?
Selfish,
Because I'm not thinking about myself. Immediately I have some kind of detachment that I'm not thinking about my thing, my problem, my situation, what I want. So I'm releasing this energy, making a space inside of ourselves. So we are allowing the other person and looking for the needs of the other person and try to provide for their well-being. So metta is prominent, but there is some degree of generosity because I'm not thinking about myself. Important, and just I know we said it before, but we need to stress on it, that to be generous and to be loving does not mean that we are wise. There is many people without wisdom or with a big amount of ignorance which can do good, like as we all do. But we must strive and work and keep the mind onto the track, because when the tree roots are there, the plant is gonna be very healthy, much more powerful. It will not just feed from 2 roots, it will feed from 3. And remember that wisdom is the strongest one. So we know that we are doing good, and we know that what the good we are doing is gonna return in some way or another. I'm not doing because of that, but it's good for the other one, it's good for me. I'm planting good seed, and I'm aspiring to a better life and understanding the nature of the world. Yeah.
A question about that wisdom. Is it possible for someone to obtain this notion of cause and effect without being in touch with the Buddha's teaching?
Here we enter to a kind of how you say
Escabroso?
no, it's a little controversy. It's a controversy. The Buddha said, you want to go?
What?
The Buddha said that whoever understands cause and effect and balance the 8 factors, he will not just be a good person, he will get enlightened. He will free himself from suffering and free himself from samsara. If a person, now when we look at reality, very few, we can say, I'm going to answer, very few ways of thinking or religions promote that kind of teaching. So it's not that only Buddhists can do, but definitely this element of making peace with reality and nature is definitely promoted by Buddhism. So in that case, coming from that way, often the teacher says, in the actuality, yes, this kind of wisdom, if we are not taught, if we see, it's quite difficult for a person by himself to discover all this. How difficult? Ask the Buddha. The Buddha stayed eons and eons cultivating himself in order to find, oh, this is the thing. We must make peace with nature. We must not fight it. So we are not adding more suffering to the suffering that is already natural. And understand cause and effect, understand the causes and effect, and then the mind is liberated. So in some way, teachers always say, whoever does it, if he finds the way because of previous karma or because of science or something like this, but you can see that every time there is something missing. Often, scientists has a very deep and well-established understanding of cause and effect, but maybe there is not the same emphasis on morality, for example. So often, for example, I've seen when you see not criticizing, but it's just little things. You see the NASA space rocket, they are there, everybody waiting, 10, 9, 4, then it goes, and then the thing arrives in Mars, and everybody celebrates. The immediate thing to do is to get drunk. You can see that immediate is, okay, let's break the seal up, let's celebrate. And then after so much effort, the thing is the relief is trying to be found in numbing the mind. So then morality is not something that is always accompanied by that. So you must put these things. So in that terms, often the teacher says, yes, the elements are present in Buddhism. Let's keep it like that. So it's not that Buddha is the only way, but yes, for a mind to be stable and understanding, these elements must be there. If we find them in any way, good. But the methodology is clearly stated step by step and it can be found in Buddhism. Is it clear? Because sometimes this part is very, it's like kind of say, no, only Buddhists can be enlightened. But yes, it's the way of thinking that promotes enlightenment in the first place. So it's a little bit tricky. How you feel? How you feel about it?
Yes, I understand.
Okay.
Yes, but also the Buddha never said to the person, the people that he met, become Buddhists. He never said so. So he is only showing a way of. He's explaining how nature works for us to purify the mind, for us to become better, for us to understand. Yes. So whether one is Buddhist or not, it doesn't matter. So as long as we understand how nature works, or that there is a cause, there is an effect. If we do good, we accept that if we do good, then good result will happen. If we do bad, bad result will happen. If we understand, if a person understands this, even Buddhist or not, it doesn't matter. Then it is possible for wisdom, good deeds, good cittas, kusala citta, wholesome citta to arise with wisdom, understanding cause and effect. It is possible. It doesn't have to be a Buddhist, but this what Bhante was saying is that this information is available in the teachings of the Buddha. So if someone comes to hear about this, or someone know about this, then somehow it is connected in a way. She is not a Buddhist. She is a Catholic that goes to church on Christmas.
It's
So
Christmas
usually she doesn't, but sometimes in Christmas she goes. So, but she can understand that if you do good, then good will come, and if you do bad, bad will come. But she's not a Buddhist. But okay, but that is an understanding. She can accept that, and she thinks that's logical. That's okay. And so if you do good deeds with this kind of thinking, then it could be kusala citta, a wholesome citta arising in her mind with wisdom in this case. Yes.
So in theory, someone who has not access to the teachings
Will
as
be
such,
hard, will be a little bit difficult.
What?
but could somehow understand from observation, because the thing is, what Buddha said is that we cannot experience this. No, you cannot, like he said something like, "Don't believe me.
Uh-huh.
You can experience this. It's not."
Yeah, experiment. You see by yourself.
You can
Yes.
yourself.
I would say that if this person had the chance to heard it from someone, then it is more possible. Because if we have never heard about cause and effect, then it is quite
It's very deep and
quite difficult for one
Yeah.
to occur in his mind. Oh, there is cause and effect, yes. Or then if I do good, then
Or
good
it's-
result.
it's a little bit hard because it's really deep, and we are just touching now the surface. When you look at the details, there are many things to be understood. Yes, a person can do it so much that a person could do it, a Buddha, but it took a long time to do it. Now we are just looking the things that we must change in our thought. Here comes another obstacle: the things that are polluting our thought. There are many cultural ideas, and there are many things that the Buddha described
Yes.
without pain in the heart to say this is wrong thinking. And some of the things that, for example, our culture is holding dear, like the sense of soul, self, and all that, which we take so dear, and we really believe I am me, of course I am me, and the Buddha says, yes, you are you in the conceptual level, but ultimately there is no you, there is no matter. This is changing. That's why it gets old. It's not, you are not a baby or an adolescent anymore. You changed. You are a natural process. So these kind of things is not just what we need to add as wisdom, is the things that we need to let go of old ideas. And I didn't go deeper than that. We better keep it here. So in order for a mind to be free, really, like a balloon, a hot air balloon, like how you call this? Like a hot air balloon, at the beginning it has the ropes. The balloon is ready to fly, but it has many ropes onto the ground. It is not a matter only to fill it up with wisdom. If the hot air was wisdom, we just not need to fill it up with wisdom. We also need to untie the ropes. And these ropes are not right thinking, not right view, are the wrong view and the right thought. So we must take all these beliefs that we take so dear, like, let's just put one, the sense of soul or self, that I am me, and I'm unchangeable, and I will last forever after that, or all these ideas. Actually, the Buddha says, and Common says, conventionally, that's the way we have come to give an explanation to this natural process. But in reality, nothing is really unchangeable. Everything is moving as a process. Yes, I am the flow. We are the process, but not something that do not change. So without getting into the wrong views, which are, you remember the other we described, there are 60 that the Buddha described, then we get onto. So when we start looking, okay, the things I need to develop and the things I need to be released from, we look at the ways of thinking. Often it's difficult not to think that it's gonna, it might be challenging to balance all these things. And yes, when we look at the methodology, it's present. It's present on the Buddha's teaching.
So
We're just being putting it there on the table.
Let's say that for ultimate liberation from samsara, for getting enlightened, it is, let's say, impossible without the teachings in this case. But for doing good with wisdom of understanding, it is possible.
We can be good human beings.
So
We
it's
can do
something, I just sort of realized, it's something similar, like, I know because I was taught in school that there are cells. No? And
Yes.
that the cells got everything. It's this little thing.
Yeah.
But it would be very hard in my life to get there
Without the
having
information from the
this
scientists.
information.
We
Like,
cannot
it's
do.
not impossible because it exists and it's there
Yes, and you can
But it would be
investigate,
very
but
hard
it
for
will
me
take long.
to get there by myself.
Yes.
Yes. To get there by yourself is like discovering America again. You need to do the map. The point is, the Buddha already arrived and left the map. So either I don't want, nobody teach me. Man, we will die before. You will be dead before you discover the cells, before you discover the matter, before you discover the Noble Eightfold Path, all these things, we're gonna be gone. So better we use the map. If the map is already there, man, just to cross the land with the map is already a challenge.
And also, just put a little bit salt and pepper. A person who has the opportunity to get in touch with the teaching, or a person who does not have the opportunity to get in touch with the teaching in this life also has to do with his previous karma, meaning his previous tendency, his previous action. If he has been already interested in this or not. If he's not interested, then his tendency is not interested. So he might be in because of the resultant, no? Whether it is a Buddhist or not, whether it is a person understand this or not, the mind works this way. Like plant seeds and the seeds come out. Whether, whatever, where we are or whatever we believe in doesn't matter. The nature just works that way. Apple grows here, grows in Africa, grows in Asia the same way. Yes, with the seed and water and everything, no? So the mind, whatever this person does in his previous action, planted seeds, and those seeds give results. And those results gave him the opportunity to whether he has the opportunity to meet the teaching or not. So that also has to do.
In short, and not to go far, when we have had this discussion with our teachers, because it has been many times, because we started it or because somebody else started it, at the end we have some teachers who are very honest and says, in my opinion, and what I heard from teachers is not possible without the teaching. So also it's good to keep this. I have heard it many times from teachers, and they say, look at the facts.
To get fully
Without the way and the map, it's gonna be very difficult. Might be not possible. So we are right. I mean, to say that the beginning is without exploring a little bit is a little bit outcome, then prejudice can arise. But when we look at it, and it's still open, take a look. Take a look how deep we will go, and according to practice, believe me, a map will be very helpful. Just keeping at that. Jackie.
Bante, I have a doubt. For example, what happens if you know the teachings, you hear the teachings,
Yes.
and then you don't come or you don't keep on doing?
You don't practice, let's say.
Let's say, for example, I came to the teachings and everything, and then I have other priorities,
Yes.
and I don't came anymore.
Yes.
Then what is it?
Well, just keep information. It's like you know the teaching is like going to the doctor. The doctor gives you the prescription. You buy the medicine and you don't take it. The people die. I mean, you have the medicine. The teaching is the medicine, but you don't apply. We don't. Not that you. We all. We know the theory. We know what is need to be done. We know all the steps. What we don't apply, if we don't apply them in our life, it's like we bought the medicine. We have the most difficult. Go to the doctor, getting the thing. It's just a matter of taking it. Well, not the most difficult. But we don't take the medicine. No healing, no happiness. Suffering will continue because we are not attacking in action to the source of suffering. So suffering will naturally arise. No ill will from no one. No one is punishing us. It's just our own ignorance or our own unwillingness to apply goodness is punishing us. We are responsible. So how you feel?
And the thing, specifically was what Sharana said, that in previous lives we did something to go and meet the teachings.
Or love for wisdom in any
Or
way
love
it is.
for wisdom.
Yes.
And if we in this life have the opportunity to have it, and then we think, oh, I have another priorities, and let this, then there is no opportunity to enlightenment.
No, if we don't practice.
If we don't practice,
If we don't practice,
no, it's not some. Oh, I wish it was like this.
Just
Thank you, my friend. See you later. It's already done. Oh, very nice. I really wish it was like that.
So we need to practice.
We need to practice. It's very simple. The Buddha, one time, story. One time, the Buddha, a person comes to the Buddha and says, Master, you're so powerful. You got enlightened. You have the wisdom of the universe. Why don't you touch our heads? Give us a blessing. Give us an object, an escapulario, whatever. Give me a thing. And then I just get enlightened. Why you make it easy? And then the Buddha very calmly says, oh, I noticed that the way you speak is not local, isn't it? Aren't you from Guanajuato? Oh, yes. Yeah. The Buddha. I am from Guanajuato. I am from another state in India. I mean, I say Guanajuato. Gujarat, Rajasthan, or whatever. You're from Gujarat, isn't it? Yes. So, do you go often to visit your families there? Oh, yes, my lord. Often I go to visit my family. Actually, twice a month because I have business there and I sell the goods from there here. And so that means you go often there. Yes. So, tell me, if someone wishes to go to your
But,
hometown,
yes, you know the way. So
do you- do-
know the way very
if you,
well.
you know the way going back, I say, Master, of course, I born there, I know how to go, I go twice a month. So that means, so if someone wishes to go to your city, would you keep it for yourself? Will you have a secret? No, Master, I openly will tell him my city is very nice. I will send him to go there and I will tell him clearly. Will you tell him how to go? Yes. What would you tell? Well, first he needs to go to the bus station, he needs to take the bus, he needs to walk, he will arrive to such place, he will go to this place. When you see this, you turn around and then you will arrive. Oh, very nice. My dear friend, once you finish telling the person how to arrive to your hometown, did he arrive? Master, impossible. How come he arrived? I just told him how to go. He will need to do all this. So what the Buddha says, what does he need to do? He needs to follow my instructions. He needs to stand up, go to the bus station, pay the bus and do this. And the Buddha says, exactly, my dear friend. I only can tell how to arrive. I arrived already. I know the place very well. Nibbana exists. Clearness, freedom from suffering, total happiness exists. But I'm just telling you how to arrive. What do you need to do? Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Let me go and practice, no? The person. So, impossible. The teaching is just telling how to arrive. But no one can work for nobody. We must clean up our mind. We must clean up our mess. Set it up the mind, stabilize it, come to the middle way, and happiness and enlightenment will be unavoidable if we walk the way. So if someone has another priority, he has the map very nicely in a frame, and a crate to the map hasn't arrived. So very beautiful story.
Very beautiful. Thank you.
So let's see the 8 types, and then we take a tea. Yes. Okay. So with these ingredients, and then it makes 8 types, which is quite easy to understand because we have already seen other kinds of cittas. It's basically not too different. So also with the aspects, mental feeling, with wisdom or without wisdom, and whether prompted or unprompted. So 8 kinds of kusala cittas. That is, whenever we are doing good, we are doing with one kind of this citta is arising in our mind. So 4 of them are associated with pleasant feeling, 4 of them associated with neutral feeling. Then here it comes quite similar. Associated with pleasant feeling, with wisdom, with understanding, not prompted or prompted. Or with pleasant feeling, not associated with wisdom, prompted, unprompted or prompted. Yes? Then same and exactly the same, but just now neutral feeling.
Doing good in a normal way, not happy about doing good.
With a neutral feeling, with wisdom, unprompted or prompted, or with neutral feeling, without wisdom, unprompted or prompted. So it's very similar to those other cittas that we have already seen before. So we don't have to do too much explanation here. So whatever kind of good action that we do, mental, verbal, or physical, is done by one of these kinds of cittas. Yes. Okay. So let's see what is next. Okay, the next one is Pali. We can go through quickly because we already know. With pleasant feeling is called Somanasa Sahagata. So let's go together. Somanasa Sahagata. Okay, so with accompanied by neutral feeling is called Upekkha Sahagata. Okay, Upekkha Sahagata. Whether it is associated with wisdom or without wisdom. Wisdom here is called ñāṇa. Ñāṇa sometimes is also called panya. Panya and ñāṇa is same. It's the same. Yes. So ñāṇa, sampayutta is with. Vipayutta is without. So ñāṇa sampayutta. With wisdom. ñāṇa sampayutta. Then without ñāṇa vipayutta. Yes. Okay. Then this one also we have saw it before. Unprompted. Asankarika. And prompted Sasankarika. So in this way, now we have all the cittas Let's go together, everybody. The first type,
Somanasa Sahagata,
with pleasant feeling.
ñāṇa sampayuta,
with wisdom.
asankarika.
Unprompted. The second type,
Somanasa Sahagata, ñāṇa sampayuta with sasankarika, by ourselves. Prompted, sorry.
Yes, okay, so the third type, Somanasa
Sahagata,
Sahagata, with pleasant feeling.
ñāṇa vipayuta,
no wisdom.
asankarika, by ourselves.
Or
Somanasa Sahagata, ñāṇa vipayuta, sasankarika.
Okay, so we finished the four with Somanasa, and then the next type, Upeka Sahagata, with neutral feeling, the same.
Upeka Sahagata, ñāṇa sampayuta, asankarika.
And another type,
Upeka Sahagata, ñāṇa sampayuta, sasankarika. Upeka Sahagata, ñāṇa vipayuta, asankarika.
and the last one,
Upeka Sahagata, ñāṇa vipayuta, sasankarika.
So this is the 8 types of kusala cittas. Okay.
Little note, my dear friends, to simplify all this, one time our teacher Seadu Nandamala, he told us, and he was like, because sometimes we can see a lot of mind state, cittas, no? Somanasa Sahagata, ñāṇa sampayuta, vipayuta, asankarika. We can just summarize with this. The first part of all the mental states is the feeling, the mental feeling, vedana. The other one is with wisdom or with ignorance, or without ignorance or without wisdom. So that means
In case of lova, with ditti or
with
without
ditti or without. Do you remember?
Yes.
So with ignorance or without ignorance, or with wisdom or without wisdom. So that means mental feeling,
The
wisdom or
character.
ignorance, prompted or
Not
unprompted.
ignorance, here is not.
Of course, but I'm talking in the general. In this
Okay.
case, it's only wisdom. In the
Yes,
I'm
yes.
talking about all of them. And then asankarika, prompted or unprompted. So we can kind of focus. Yes, when we start looking one by one, all the possible combinations of mental units that we can have, then we start getting all these numbers. So we can start getting this sensation of simplifying in this way.
Here, the absence of
Wisdom.
wisdom is it considered ignorance?
No.
No?
As we saw already, ñāṇa vipayuta here without wisdom, but it is with metta, and it is with loving kindness, and it is with generosity. Yes.
Okay.
So ignorance only associate with
With
unwholesome, with akusala.
Okay.
So here it is without wisdom, but also it is not associated with delusion or with moha. Also not associated with wrong view, ditti, and not associated with any kinds of bad mental factors.
In terms of mental development, we can have the four of them in a line, from the cheapest to the most beautiful. So we have ignorance, non-ignorance, non-wisdom, and wisdom. So to have no ignorance doesn't mean I am wise. I'm not just not ignorant. So we have ignorance, really bad-sighted and flippant and confused, non-confused but non-wise, and we have the other one in the same way. There is no wisdom, but doesn't mean there is ignorance. So he's already on the. We can see it in the. If it was a chart, we can see from the. How can we say?
A gradient.
Gradient. The gradient will be the lowest ignorance. Non-ignorance doesn't mean non-wisdom. Non-wisdom is higher than non-ignorance. We agree because you're already on the side of wisdom, but doesn't mean you're wise yet. This one in the middle and the wisdom on top. So from pole to pole.
Yes, we may. We have the most important thing we have to remember here is that we talk about kusala citta. It is wholesome. So wholesome never associate with delusion or with unwholesome mental factors.
Yeah, but this is coming because of the reference I made, no? Like how to see the
Not
global.
just that, because kind of trying to understand what was explanation behind the wisdom and non-wisdom.
Wisdom and non-wisdom,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes. So only here is whether we do the good action with the understanding of karma or without understanding of karma. So many people do good because they think doing good is good. They like to do good, but they think that do good is right, or because of I am from this kind of family, I should do good things, and no, or any whatever reason it may be, without understanding of karma. But this person is doing good. It could be doing good with one of these kinds of without wisdom, but that doesn't mean that he is doing it ignorantly. No, because one cannot do good with ignorance. With delusion, only moha. With delusion, it's only in the akusala. And ditthi only associate with loba. Remember, because we're grasping to an idea, so it only associates with loba, with greed. Not in the case of kusala, never.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. So let's take a tea. We'll see you in 3 minutes. Okay, that's okay. So let's continue. So now that we have seen the 8 kinds of kusala cittas, then let's do a little exercise like we did with the loba cittas. Okay, so let's see. In this picture, this doctor is doing good with his patient. So in this case, let's say for example, in terms of feeling, mental feeling, what kind of mental feeling do you think he has? Somanasa, yes. Okay, so pleasant mental feeling. So whether he is treating his patient, whether he understands karma or not, this we cannot tell with the picture, So it could be with or without in this case. So
hopefully,
yes. So how about prompted or unprompted?
Unprompted.
Looks a little bit like unprompted, yes, like he naturally wants to do it. Okay, so let's see another example. This little girl, she's giving something to the charity. So we cannot see very clearly her face, but so about mental feeling, what do you think?
Kind of neutral.
It can be, somanasa, or can be upeka. Yes, we don't know. Then with wisdom, without wisdom, well, so small, maybe you don't understand about karma, probably. So it could be with or without. Yes. Then prompted or unprompted.
Looks like prompted.
Looks like prompted
Looks
because
like
everybody's
prompted.
like, yeah.
So in the case, if the parents is asking her to do so, it is prompted. Yes. Okay. So let's say in the same situation, how about this lady and gentleman that is also doing good? They are helping the voluntary to do some charity works. Somanasa or upeka?
Somanasa.
I think she has a little bit of upeka or somanasa. He means like, well, both small somanasa.
Yes. Then whether with or without wisdom, then it depends. Yes. Then prompted or unprompted? Maybe unprompted if they are doing voluntary works, or unless maybe prompted also could be, depend on situation. But let's say unprompted in this case. Okay. Now let's see. This mother taking care of her child. In terms of feeling. Somanasa looks like you'll be smiling.
A little bit somanasa.
Little bit
more like karuna, more
Tiny
like
somanasa.
compassion.
It is compassion, but even if it is compassion,
but
it is with pleasant mental feeling. Yes, because here the mental factor Vedana and Karuna and Metta is different. They are different mental factors. Yes.
One thing to mention about compassion is that often when we see injustice and suffering of other inflicted by a powerful one, we generally get indignant. No, like, why are you doing this thing? If our mind is already having dosa, has nothing to do with goodness. That is not real compassion.
That's dosa.
We are having dosa because of the unjust action of the other. So compassion is not there. And we saw in the Wednesday class before how compassion can be polluted by self-righteousness and indignant feeling, and actually that is dosa. We are not really being compassionate, so we must be very careful that the compassion is not tainted or polluted by why are you doing this. That is already dosa, and no goodness is springing, because we can see just by the mental feeling domanasa is impossible, so we cannot be compassionate with dosa. That is dosa already, so we are thinking that we are doing good, planting bad seeds.
I have a recent experience about something that I want to kind of clarify. Yesterday, while I was driving, I saw these very young kids like begging for money, and like I kind of felt sad for them.
You felt sad?
Yeah, I felt sad.
Yeah.
So, does the same apply because it's kind of connecting with dosa at some
Yes.
point.
Yeah, it is. There are many degrees. One will be angry, telling to the father, "Why are you, in this case? Why are you doing that to them? Like if they are using them, which some
Yeah.
often happen, or you just saw the thing." And teachers also said that compassion, it's cannot say hurt the heart because you are experiencing the suffering of others. But if you're ready to sadness, to non-energy or not doing something or equanimity, it might be a little bit already on the dosa side. So you could see, for example, let's bring wisdom.
Mhm.
Suffering exists in the world. Suffering exists. We are not detaching from the situation. Just bringing wisdom. Suffering exists. There is a cause of suffering, and they are there because their actions. That doesn't mean we won't help, Not
No.
yet.
Yeah.
We are just bringing realism and clarity. It is my karma, my actions, and their actions, and we are equal. It's not to put them down. Generally, we understand compassion as siento compasión por él is like pobrecito, isn't it in Spanish? Like, but that has nothing to do. Compassion means we recognize that someone is suffering more than us, and we try to do something to solve it, to help that suffering. That's clean compassion will go. So in this case, we're just bringing the Four Noble Truths. Samsara exists. Samsara is tough. So for both of us, we are together in this. I have not, even though I'm not experiencing hunger right now, that doesn't mean that I'm free from suffering. We are together. So that is very beautiful. It puts us together with the suffering, the person who suffers more. On the other hand, people better than us will see us and will feel compassion for us. Oh, look, he only is driving this car. I have better, something like that. It can happen. I mean, we are on that scale. So we put in the same. Suffering exists. There is a cause of suffering. Something must have been done for this person to have gone on this thing. There is a possibility for liberation and a way. Then we have possibility in two depths. To help that person immediate with some money, with some food, directly do something. If I really feel he's suffering or her suffering, I try to do something cleanly without suffering now to people suffering. And ultimately, if we could, we'll be able to share some information that could liberate both of us from the samsaric suffering. That would be the top goodness that we could do for that person. Sometimes it's possible or sometimes it's not, but bringing the wisdom, I know we know it's painful, but yes, samsara is tough. But let's try to do as much as we can in our ability without polluting our minds. That's the call for teachers. How you feel?
It's hard for me in those situations to feel empathy without feeling a bit of sadness for the situation. Like, I mean, I see the reality, and I try to help every time I can, but it's never enough. And
but we know that it is what we were mentioning before. Sometimes when we know that suffering is greater than what I can do, now we should cover ourselves in equanimity. Equanimity doesn't mean not caring. No, I will try to do my best. But when you look at the mountain of suffering and all the conditions, which often there is an actual force putting the kids on that situation in order to evoke pity, not compassion, pity on other people, for them to gain, because actually it can be even a business, which we know it for sure in India, that you know that families cut the limbs of children when they are small, they cut, so they will be forever beggars. They do it. I mean, when you see that things, it's like there is a deep injustice. Imagine the seeds that the people is planting. So we can understand all that thing. How much can I do? Don't let the mind fall. That's the call from a teacher who say, keep your mind steady. Don't fall. Because if you fall, sadness will make the thing more difficult. You will have in less quality because you are already in dosa family. So keep the mind balanced, even if it's painful. Yes. Dukkha exists. The first noble truth is there. Suffering in this samsara exists. It's a fact for us and for everyone, as long as we're not free from the cycle. So it is something. It's a bitter piece of the medicine, which we need to say, yes, it is real.
Also, for situations, we can always separate the thing. Say, for example, if there is sadness, that is, we're looking at an analytical way, no? If there is sadness, that is dosa family. So there is dosa. If there is dosa, there's something that I don't like. So what is it that I don't like? I don't like the situation. I don't want it to be like that. But situation is like that. Even I like it or not, I cannot change it. So it is not necessary to not like the situation, because situation is just like this. If I don't like the situation, then it is already dosa in that case. But okay, situation is like that. I cannot change. How can I help? Then if whatever much I can help, I will help. If it is not possible, it is also I cannot change the whole world, in a situation. So also equanimity, and also understanding, and also see the danger of samsara, or look where is the what we can learn, the lesson, and also how we can help. If we cannot help or change everything, then we need to accept, and also need not to get angry with the situation. Otherwise, we are putting more dosa into the situation.
It is difficult, we know
it is
because we
difficult,
feel.
yes, it
And
is difficult.
I will say something that I know is not going to be misunderstood, but in regarding of emotions, if we feel that pain of others, it denotes some goodness. The only thing is that in my case it happens as well. I'm not telling in the case for you, it is not yet totally skillful. Yeah, the pain, you will say it's better to feel some pain because then we will do something about it. But often when dosa wants to help something, teacher says, look, be very careful that when we are generous, it's not, for example, a person comes, is suffering a lot, and it hurts me to see his suffering or her suffering. I give something to say, okay, go. I don't want to experience that. Often it can be very polluted. So there was no generosity. I was acting selfishly. I'm not saying at all, but you can see that the many ways that generosity or compassion can be polluted. You give to the person in order to, we are afraid of a man who comes and asks for something. You say, I better give him something so he goes. There was no generosity there. It was totally polluted selfishly, or you put, in order for me not to suffer, let's not suffer, so take something. So all these kind of possibilities exist in this kind of situation. So the teacher said, we need to be very careful and open to the fact. Now, we must understand something, and this samsara, the Buddha said that has no foreseeable beginning or foreseeable end. Samsara has no beginning and no end. When he was asked, who created samsara? Why are we all this? The Buddha gave this. It's so big that there is no seeable, possible to see. My dear friends, if we die, well, not if we die, when we die, or if in case we got enlightened, samsara will continue. And it will go to worse. The Buddha explained already, we haven't gone to this chapter. We will arrive when the chapter number 6, the Buddha explained that naturally whatever arises tends to decline. So all the morality in the world will become worse naturally, because the love for cultivation will be less and less, and promiscuity will be higher, and so we need to be ready. And that's why the Buddha says, the teacher says, we need to do something to liberate ourselves and others. I will bring the last example that Sadhu Nandamala gives, which I think is very beautiful. When we ask him, Sadhu, what do you want? Do you want to liberate yourself, or would you like to become another Buddha? Because he has had thoughts about it. He has honestly think, he sees some potential, not now, maybe in many, and he has thought, it was a confession kind of. He said, to be honest, I have thoughts. Could I try to become a Buddha or just liberate myself? And he said something very beautiful, and I think it's a very nice image to have. He said, my point right now is this. I am trying to cross the sea of suffering, but my boat is big. So whoever wishes to come on aboard, we can cross together. Wow, very beautiful. So in the way we are trying to liberate ourselves, we try to help as much as possible in the deeper sense, to look that our actions give long-lasting benefit, not just the coin, because the coin might go to sniffing glue or something. It's a fact. So we must be very careful that where are we putting, and try to help as deep as we can to liberate from the whole thing. So it is tough. Suffering exists.
Regarding about that story, does your master speak about the Buddha as like from the Bodhisattva perspective, that he renounced
to become a Buddha? Yes, the real Bodhisattva.
Okay.
The one who wants to become a Buddha, not just a servant of humanity. a servant of humanity in the deep way. So he's willing that the sasana disappear and all these stages of darkness for eons and eons keep alive and suffer all that darkness in order
To
to fulfill the parmis, so he can start again the wheel, to uncover the map again from zero. But he needs to wait because Maitreya is coming, isn't it? There are a few already in line. So to take that vow, it is something really that we must really think about it, because you take that training and you are willing to endure all the period of darkness, deep darkness. No sila, no paña, and no samadhi. Nothing. So it is rampant. No appreciation for goodness at all. So the Buddha explained very clearly how the world is gonna decline. So he said that some of the signs is gonna be that people will lose interest in studying first. The content will become each time more feeble and surface and cheaper, and we can see it on the media each time. Before, we used to see some kind of culture in it. Now each time is lower, the bar is lower and lower. He said that the promiscuity, we will start seeing children from 10 years or even 8 years having babies, because the promiscuity will be normal. And now we have seen in our own generation how the birth rate of teenagers is going down. Each time young humans are getting in contact with sexuality much sooner than we did. I mean, you see some teenagers, 12, 13, already having sexual activity, something which is happening in our life, in our time. And then the first thing to go will be wisdom, then mental stability, then appreciation. No wisdom, no appreciation for morality. Killing is what? I just kill him. What is my job? And we are already seeing a lot of these kind of things. So it's gonna go down. So either we suffer about it and be frozen by fear or negativity, or we start doing something to try to move ourselves. Starting with ourselves, we can only change this one, and whoever is around, towards safe ground. I mean, we will see in chapter number 6, the Buddha gave detailed the decay of the world and what happens when the world finishes, humanity finishes, and the period of darkness, and how until another Buddha, another one Bodhisattva who has vowed to come back and start again from zero, because there was not wisdom again, bring them up, and then again as humanity, whoever wasn't able to liberate himself or enlighten, have another chance to study the Dhamma, practice by himself, clear his mind, and be free.
And also it is not just the Bodhisattva to become a Buddha. Also, it's not just only a matter of time. It's also a matter of quality of the person. Say for example, in a university, maybe all the student wants to get the straight A. Yes, but everybody but not everybody has the ability to do so. So it must be a person with that kind of ability, and is willing to have such compassion to suffer all this time until that time, when time comes, then to become a Buddha in the future. But that means the suffering in samsara all this time to accumulate parmis, which is 10 perfections, like to become enlightened. Let's say
Fully enlightened.
Everybody has like 10 little jars that we have to fulfill. There is actually
it's written over there, the 10
the 10 kinds of things, like generosity,
loving kindness,
truthfulness, and patience, and all this.
Forbearance.
So we have to fulfill these 10 perfection in order to get enlightened. But let's say if our to become a fully enlightened person, arahant, under the teachings of the Buddha, let's say our jar is like this big, no? So in the case of the Buddha, it could be the size of the jar could be, let's say, like 10 times this house. like
it's a big jar to become.
So to fulfill that needs long time and a lot
practice.
of effort, a lot of work. So
Bodhicitta, Bud comes from Buddha, and fully enlightened from not just goodness but enlightenment, the ability to become a Sammasambuddha, to start the Dhamma wheel again. Deep wisdom, deep, very,
I
very.
think we are almost running out of time. Yeah, actually we're out of time.
Okay,
So let's
let's
finish with this and we close and leave the other part for next week. I thought we were gonna finish the whole 3 groups. No.
But let's not keep negativity on any of it. Clean the mind, clean the mind. Yes, it's tough. Samsara is tough. But we can go through and we have a map. We are already very fortunate, I think. And if we don't have this liking for wisdom, which we are trying now, all of us together trying this, it didn't happen just because maybe something was already rolling in the back in previous lives. So we can rejoice on that.
Okay,
Vamos, compañeros, que no baje. Si nos
well,
Vamos,
and actually
ahí
we're talking
está.
about beautiful cittas,
Beautiful
right?
cheetahs, yes, let's go. Beautiful cheetahs.
Okay, so let's
You
say
have.
we have a few more photos. Let's go through this exercise quickly. So this mother taking care of the child, who could be with wisdom or without wisdom, and prompted or unprompted. What do you think? Unprompted,
Unprompted.
the most probably.
Unprompted, yeah,
Yes.
what's really good?
Okay, so let's say another person. This person is meditating, practicing. Then what kind of mental feeling you think? Could be upeka, could be
Looks like
somanasa. Looks like upeka. And with wisdom or without wisdom?
Depends on
They're
her.
hopefully with,
With.
yes.
I hope for my
Yes. Okay, so prompted or unprompted? Maybe unprompted.
unprompted.
prompted,
Yes.
or maybe the mother is in the, maybe the Dhamma teacher's in the back checking the clothes. No.
Okay, so let's say this lady is taking care of her mother, and so good deeds and would be pleasant feeling, that's a little bit smiley, with or without, hopefully with, and prompted or unprompted? Then could be unprompted, yes? Okay, so doing, helping one's parents and doing all kinds of these actions are good deeds. So when we are doing this kind of this kind of beautiful cittas with roots, with beautiful roots arise in the mind of the person, yes? Okay, so another example. This gentleman washing the dishes.
Depend on
kind
him.
of doesn't look-
Sometimes even those I can be present.
No, maybe.
Domana.
So
Sometimes
this-
the manasa
no.
can be present.
Yeah, well, at least he's doing a good job at the moment with or without.
Yeah, he looks
wisdom,
quite
we don't know.
upeka.
So prompted or unprompted depends if his wife.
The wife
Depends on the kind of wife.
Okay, so let's see another example. This lady offering food to some people, and she looks quite
Somanasa.
Somanasa, yes. With wisdom or without
Hopefully.
wisdom.
with
Better
Maybe
with.
Better with. And prompted or unprompted?
unprompted.
Maybe unprompted, yes. Okay, then one more. Then this lady in Burma, she's offering food to some little monks. And how about feeling? Well, we don't see her face, but maybe I think could be somanasa,
Somanasa.
could be pleasant. With wisdom or without wisdom? In
With.
this case, probably with, because I think she understands about karma. And prompted, unprompted, I think unprompted.
Unprompted.
Yeah. Yes. So in Burma, it's just take the opportunity to introduce a little bit. Like in Burma, it's very usual to see this kind of scenery. The people in this every morning, they are in the street waiting for the monks to pass by, and then they offer food to all the monks. And people, they might not be rich. They might be living in this kind of bamboo huts.
Most of it.
Most of the time. So, but whatever, even they are not rich, they offer. So this is kind of a very touching scenery that most of the time we see in Burma. I think it is important because they understand of karma, that they know that doing good or being generous is planting good seeds, and it will give good result also. So they give even they have or they don't have. Even they have a little, they try to give. Sometimes here in our culture, most of the time we said, well, I cannot give because I don't have. And well, I will give when I am rich, or when I have enough money, then I will share. But now I cannot because I don't have. But if we compare how much we have and how much they have, actually we have so much more. And also, if we wait until we have, it might never happen. Because if we never plant seeds of generosity, we might not have the harvest of abundance, exactly. So if we never plant seeds, we're waiting for that to happen, and it might never happen. So I think because of this kind of understanding, also they said I might not have now, but if I continue planting good seeds, it will come. Yes. So even it is for material and even it is for spiritual practice, everything it is good to start doing good anytime in any situation.
And in practical sense, if a mind is positive, it can see opportunities. When the mind is negative, even has an opportunity in front, it cannot see it because it's looking negative. There is a blockage there. So very, very practically, if any of us do good, the mind clears up because it has some kind of gladness from inside. We know we did good. That first we know we are not doing bad, so we are no shame, no guilt, no remorse. Then we do good. Then the mind clarifies, purifies, feels empowered. Then can see possibilities. So you can see not waiting, expecting to future result. If the open outlook and inner space is there, the possibilities can arise. So sooner the person, or as any of us that we work or anything, we can find the solution to problems and the opportunities. We can see them because it is already, the mind is ready to take it. So there are many
Good.
benefits.
And we can be generous with others things than money or
Yes.
or giving.
Yes.
We can be
Words or
generous with our
time.
time. With
Time,
Yes.
knowledge.
Yep.
The Buddha enlisted many ways, and also you want. I mean, I don't know if you have seen, but it is really impressive how the Buddha even taught administration for lay people. He said how to the best way to administrate a wealth. I hope I remember well. He said you divide your wealth, whatever you gain, you divide it into 4 parts. The first part you will use it to reinvest. For the 1/4 you use to invest on your thing. The other 1/4 you will use it to support, to saving. So the other 1/4 you will use it for saving. And I think at that moment I will be clear. I will let you know. Check. I think he mentioned some kind of parents, like for example for the needs that parents will. When our parents get old, you will have something for yourself and for others. The other part, you will use it for generosity. 1/4, from what you get, you use to help others, people, especially people who suffer more than you. And the other one, you enjoy it as you like.
Or support your
You're free.
family.
Or
no?
support
Like,
your
whatever
family.
they
You can
need
be.
to use.
So it's quite 1/4 reinvest, saving for future, generosity, and here is your price. You use your own good, your own needs, and like this. So he gave, and many people has this teaching in their DNA, kind of in the way of thinking. So most of it, you can see that it is impressive how much the people gives. And when you arrive as a monk to their houses and you see the dirt floor very well swept and watered in the morning, it's like it's really moving. I mean, I confess to you, I have cried many times in the line, out of I cannot say happiness, is some kind of joy, some kind of seeing the goodness. How they tell to the monks, don't worry, you keep training, you keep taking care of the teaching. Please take care of the teaching, it's very valuable. We work, here is your food, here is your toothpaste, your so it is when you see from which hands is coming, it's, I mean, it cracks you. It cracks you. And that's part of the intention that the Buddha had. So you humble yourself, knowing that you depend on, and it's really.
And also
really
giving
beautiful.
opportunities for the people to practice generosity. So otherwise, the monks also, they can go to the mountain and disappear. And then why do I have to go to the market or whatever they know? And so it is because of that the Buddha also said you cannot cook, and you have to depend on other people. So you must go to the village to get food. So it is because then you give opportunity for the people to see that there is another way, then to remember the teaching, and then also to practice generosity.
One time, I will tell you this short story. We are in the monastery. It's raining. So raining in the morning. It's a little bit chilly, coming out. So there was still food in the monastery. So some practitioners said, Master, why don't we stay? Why there is food inside? There is raining, and we could feel that the energy on the teacher was like, he kind of stepped up and said, "Do you realize that we don't go out to ask for the food for ourselves? We go out to offer the possibility, the opportunity to the people to practice generosity. That is a real job." So he said, "Dress up and let's go." And everybody was like, and I saw the thing, I was like, we are going out, we are not asking, we are giving. As the Sangha, as the body who takes care of the teaching, we are giving the opportunity to the people to plant wholesome seeds. So the view after that experience until now changed is like, oh, wow. The appearance is never what it seems. We need to look deeper onto it.
Last Wednesday also Bante mentioned about this. When we offer something to our teachers, and they never say thank you. They say sadhu, 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 because they are not receiving your gift and thank you very much for your gift. They are saying well done. They are happy for the good seeds that you are planting for your own practice. So the
Well
teachers
done,
they
well
say
done.
well done. They say sadhu. They don't say thank you.
You are moving away from the source of suffering, which is attachment. You are making an exercise of detaching from something that you might have used for the benefit of someone else. So that's why, and sometimes we, in the surface, we might misunderstand. Well, these monks, they never say what, how I'm grateful, no? But the teacher says sadhu, is really when you start looking in the back, in the deeper, it's like wow.
Well, okay. So today we only finished the 8 kinds of kusala citta, the wholesome cittas, which is good, not bad. We finished something. So let's take this home and see in our daily life when and how does this kind of beautiful kusala cittas, wholesome cittas arise in me. And so this coming week, let's take a look whether they are with wisdom or not. Hopefully they are all with wisdom, and then whether they are prompted or unprompted. So we will have chance to observe like how these good minds arise in us. So next week maybe we can share about this. So the 8 kinds, just to remember, is they are always with generosity and with loving kindness, never with dosa. They can be with somanasa or with ubeka, and they are with understanding of karma or not, with understanding how things work, whether it is prompted or unprompted. So until here, we will stop today, and next week we will continue with the other groups, which is the result of this 8 kind of kusala citta, the good consciousness, the ones with roots, which are much more powerful ones. And we will look at that group, and I think we can also look at the kriya, functional cittas with roots also belong to sense sphere. Okay, so we'll stop here.
Okay.
And let's see. So I suggest that we can recite together. And this is actually very nice, something very nice that I like very much. This is in the class with Yado Nandamala. Usually he finishes with everybody reciting together this phrase, Buddham Sasanam Chiram Tatu, meaning that may the Buddha's teaching last long. You see, we all get benefit. We hope that it will last for a long time, so many people can get benefit.
Okay, so let's recite 3 times. Buddham Sasanam Chiram Titatu. Buddham Sasanam Chiram Titatu. Buddham Sasanam Chiram Titatu. Make the Buddha's teaching last long for the benefit of ourselves, our families, and many, many more generations to come. If we are able to get enlightened in this life, we leave something useful for next generations, and if not, we will be beneficiaries of our efforts now to keep the teaching alive. With appreciation to all our teachers, we hope that we will put our intent to pass the message as well as possible. We take responsibility for our shortcomings and personality traits. Let's go over it and only listen to the message. We are responsible for, I'm responsible for any gesture, word, joke, or anything that came and didn't write well. We will try to continue learning, and let's keep it separated from the teaching and we appreciate all our teachers and all the people who is putting their efforts onto keeping the techniques and the map so we can continue walking, be it in this life or next one, and may these seeds, whatever arose today, fall into fertile soil so we can give many fruits for our benefit and the people around us. With that intention, we repeat. idano punyam, nibanasa, pachiyo, hotu, idano punyam, nibanasa, pachiyo, hotu, idano punyam, nibanasa, pachiyo, hotu. If we know someone who is having difficulties mentally or physically, we can remember this time, and may these seeds of goodness also give fruits. May they be beneficiary from these fruits to our family, people we know, people we don't know, especially those who suffer more than us. With that said, we repeat, idano punyam, sabasatanam pajimanam, idano punyam, sabasatanam pajimanam, idano punyam, sabasatanam pajimanam, sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. And with the appreciation for the generous acts, may these seeds be contribute to our freedom from suffering. And with that said, we repeat Sangasa,
Sangasa,
Dema,
Dema,
Nibanasa,
Nibanasa,
Pacheyo,
Pacheyo,
Hotu.
Hotu.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.